It is the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones was asked yesterday, are you happy with the offense? Well, look, he's right about that, and it's more red zone than anything else. If they convert one more red zone, appearance into a touchdown, we might not be talking about it. Two more, for sure we're not talking about it. And they did score, I know it wasn't just offense, special teams, defense as well, 70 points, in their first two games. But this is the up and down life of the NFL. That's all this is.
Yeah, but at the same time, I want Jerry to call out his defense, right? Like, you're talking about a defense that led up 182 yards in the first half. And also, offensively, listen, the Cowboys have 75 yards. The Cardinals have 53. They won a time of possession. So, it's not like this offense is horrible. They just can't get it, and that's on Dak. But this defense, man, this is supposed to be the defense, supposed to be the juggernaut.
Correct.
Where's the bullies on the block? So I want Jerry to call them out and stay off that offense.
Yeah, it's funny. We only focus on the Cowboy offense. What did Dak do? What did this guy do? But in reality, yes, they were brutal in the red zone, all right? 1 for 5 when it came to touchdowns, and 2 of those 5 possessions, they didn't get any points at all, which is unacceptable, and you're not going to win a lot of games playing that way. But the crazy thing, Jacoby, is that literally 7 days ago, I remember playing audio on the show of Jerry Jones talking about how Mike McCarthy should be taking bows for his brilliance. For his brilliance. As the head coach and the offensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys. And 3 days later, I'm not happy with the offense.
I can't use the word happy.
He's like, I need to see more to use the word happy. How about you just lost to the Arizona Cardinals?
Yeah.
Right.
It is, like you said, it's not just the I thought the defense was worse than the offense in that game.
100%
sure. They were getting everything they wanted. On first down, run the ball, 12 yards.
Yeah.
First down, throw the ball, 12 yards. It just seemed like they could get whatever they wanted done. And this is what's fun, because the Cowboys, like you said a week ago, they did seem like they were a juggernaut, like maybe the best team in the league, and then they go out and lose to the Arizona
they
Cardinals.
were the best team in the league, to be fair, just based on the final scores of the 2 games.
But what the defense showed you, the chink in the armor, right? Because this wasn't the Cardinals attacking the edges and getting out. This was downhill football. This was pulling schemes, going right into the second level, beating up on their linebackers, taking it to their safeties. So if you're the Bill Belichick, this falls into your hands, because what do? They run north and south of New England, and they play big-time defense. Bend but don't break. So I'm looking at the Cowboys, man. You need to lay off Dak in that offense and start worrying about that defense.
It is interesting because, again, all this is on paper, but I would tell you that, New England has a better quarterback. New England has a better running back than Arizona does, and yet Arizona had no problem shredding that Cowboy defense, right?
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, well, they're going to play Mac Jones, and that really the offense is going to get tested against the Patriots defense. And I had the same machinations in my head. I was like, Josh Dobbs and James Conner, they
made Josh Dobbs a star within a week. He even went out and brought his own jersey to give it out to the community pretty much. I mean, he's trying to put himself on billboards, and that's all because the Dallas defense made him a star. They made him look like Warren Moon.
I will say this. Listen, I think it's very tough to be an athlete in New York. You've lived it. You know what I'm talking about from a standpoint of media and talk shows and all the attention that you get as a New York athlete. But I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a job in sports harder than playing for the Dallas Cowboys. When you win, obviously, it's always great. But you lost one game. You're 2-1, and it's a game everybody thought you were going to win. And we went from bows to I'm not happy.
Yeah, but, obviously it's hard for Dak, and we know being a quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys is enough scrutiny. But you talk about this Cowboys defense that's led by Michael Parsons, who has his own podcast. You have DeMarcus Lawrence who's saying, hey, man, we are them. If you're looking for them, we are them.
Yeah.
You have everybody on that defense wearing gold chains and diamond rings because they're the flashiest defense in all of the NFL, but you get dog walked by the Arizona Cardinals. It can't happen.
No, it did happen, and now that the Cowboys have to kind of lick their chops a little bit and their wounds a little bit, they are a touchdown favorite, just about, 6.5 against the New England Patriots coming off their first win of the year. That game, of course, is in Dallas, and much more on that game later today. And I'm sure to be in our pick segment tomorrow for sure. That brings me, I don't know how we go from the Dallas Cowboys,
you just got to move
a winning team,
just push it along.
To our team, Willie.
Push it along,
to our team, Willie. Look, Willie Cologne like that. Look at Willie.
No.
Looking good, Willie. That's not Willie Cologne. He hasn't played in years.
You're right.
Look, Robert Saleh never has a bad thing to say about anybody.
Say something.
And it's becoming a problem. He finally admitted yesterday that, first, Aaron Rodgers was not wrong in his criticism of the Jets being somewhat immature and having to grow up. Robert Saleh would be a great shrink right? I talk to a therapist every week. He's got the same exact kind of level-headed personality, like, hey, well, I robbed the bank today. It's going to be okay.
Glass half full. Glass half full. Always. Robert Saleh, glass half full. Always.
He even came out yesterday, and he finally acknowledged, yes, Zach Wilson has to play a little bit better too, which is a major, major departure for this franchise from where they've been throughout the Zach Wilson experiment. For him to even acknowledge that Zach Wilson is not or has not played great football is a major shift kind of in organizational philosophy on our quarterback.
But you never answered the question with a
question.
What
was the question?
My question to you, if you're Robert Saleh, you're standing in front of your team on a Thursday, about to go into Sunday Night Football against the Kansas City Chiefs, how honest should he be to this ball club?
From a standpoint of what, that we can't win?
No, like you got to motivate. You got to educate, and you got to tell them something, because right now nobody's giving the Jets a chance on Sunday night, and they need this win in the worst way.
Look, but by the way, they could have lost this game if Aaron Rodgers played in it, so I'm not worried about it from that standpoint. My philosophy going into this game is, we took one guy out, big guy, Aaron Rodgers. We replaced him with another guy who ain't that good. And everybody understands all that, right? But what about all the rest of you? Because when you look in the mirror, do you like what you see? When you judge your own performance in last week's game, did you do everything that you were supposed to do? I think one of the great motivators in football is when a coach does that. Because the old thing is kind of cliche. It's sort of like a high school coach saying, if you do your job, you don't have to worry about anything else.
Sure.
And the question is, for the other 10 guys on offense, the 11 guys on defense, did you do your job? Because here's the reality. Zach Wilson stinks. Everybody knows it. The locker room knows it. And let's be honest, Zach's mom knows it. All right? He's a lousy quarterback. But did you do your job? And I'm looking at Sauce Gardner. And I'm looking at DJ Reed. And I'm looking at CJ Mosley. And I'm looking at a defensive line that, oh, by the way, had 0 sacks last week and didn't put any pressure on a quarterback to try to help win a game in Mac Jones and the New England Patriots. So, I will acknowledge as the head coach that I got a problem with my quarterback, and I'm not going to lie about it.
Your offensive coordinator.
Right now, he is our quarterback, so we're going to war with him. And we're going to play our asses off to support him. We'll try to fix that when we can. But what about you?
Yeah,
what about you? That's what I would do.
I'm always going to stand on the chair and say, man, when you point the finger, start with the thumb, right? Because everybody has a rough day and everybody has to get better. But if you're Robert Saleh, and I agree with you, you had to change the tone, because you stood up in a press conference after that loss and said, well, we got to do some things. We can do this. You never acknowledged that Zach was absolutely
the first thing he said was, well, we got to get off the field on defense.
Yeah.
We need more opportunities on offense. And I'm looking at going, to do what? To go
3 and out.
3 and out again.
3 and out again. Yeah, exactly.
And by the way, the cliche, Willie, because I am the king of cliches on this show, is when you're pointing your finger at someone else, there are 3 fingers pointing back at you.
That's not the way it was told to you,
It ain't
Craig.
about the thumb.
Yes, it is. When you point the finger, you start with the thumb.
No, the thumb goes up, the other fingers go back.
It comes back to you.
No, you got that wrong.
No.
I don't know who taught you that, but they lied to you.
If your thumb looks like this, it does.
That's
point back.
strange.
What happened to your thumb?
Look at that.
I'm always looking in the mirror first.
There you see, that's the guy who looks at himself.
When I saw Coach Saleh and he was like, he's not wrong when he was talking about the criticism, I thought it was Joe Namath's criticism.
Yeah.
It's like Zach Wilson is disgusting. It's like, well, he's not wrong.
You sucked that thumb a lot as a kid, didn't you?
No, man.
He's the greatest high chick. High chick.
Oh, you almost had it, Craig. You almost landed it.
I blew the line. All right. Hey there. Thank you so much for watching The Carton Show. You can subscribe right here to get all the latest bits and segments from the show. And by the way, while you're at it, we have a lot of great shows on FS1, so check them out too.